National tragedy. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, his wife Mrs. Madhulika Rawat and 11 others have lost their lives in a tragic helicopter crash in Coonoor in the Nilgiri mountains of Tamil Nadu earlier today. General Bipin Rawat, the country's top military officer, was known as being a strong-headed army man who never shied away from making a bold statement. From calling out Pakistan's hypocrisy in sponsoring terror to calling out China's territorial aggression. General Bipin Rawat called a spade a spade. He got into trouble sometimes for it, but he never shied away from speaking his mind. Here's a report on a few of his strongest statements, and this was signature Bipin Rawat.
A tall leader, a counter-insurgency expert, and a fiery personality. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Singh Rawat never minced words when it came to India's hostile neighbours. From the day he took over as the Chief of Army, General Rawat made it known India was capable of countering any threat.
हमारी जो सेना है, हम अमन और शांति चाहते हैं, लेकिन अमन और शांति का मकसद ये नहीं है कि हम कमजोर हैं। हम हर तरफ से काबिल हैं, ताकतवर हैं, और अगर जरूरत आई तो हम किसी भी तरह से ताकत इस्तेमाल करने में पीछे नहीं हटेंगे।
Taking over as the Chief of Army Staff at a time when Chinese incursions were becoming more frequent, General Rawat did not hold back from voicing the Indian Army's decades-old demand for new weaponry.
People who are deeply committed into the conduct of counter-proxy, counter-terrorism, counter-insurgencies are empowered and enabled. The soldier on the ground, the person with the boots on the ground, has to be provided weapons that give him the lethality to take action.
The most testing time for General Rawat was Doklam standoff at India's tri-junction border with Bhutan and China.
Our troops on the border should not feel that it cannot happen again or it cannot happen another sector again. So what I was trying to say is that it is always better to remain prepared and alert than think that these things will not happen. So my message to my people is that remain prepared, it can happen again.
The incident solidified General Rawat's belief that China and not Pakistan was India's biggest security threat in the region. Something he reiterated during his stint as India's first Chief of Defence Staff.
We have our border management protocols which have been signed between us and China right from 1993 onwards, and we have modified the protocols continuously. But of late we have been seeing some aggressive actions by the Chinese, but we are capable of handling these in the best suitable way. We have our tri-services, that is the Army, Navy and Air Force, capable of dealing with our threats along our frontiers.
General Rawat called a spade when it came to Pakistan's duplicity on terror.
These surgical strikes were a message that we had communicated, and that if required and if the adversary does not behave, then if we have to continue with these kind of activities and events, we will continue. But there are other ways of doing these things also. It did not take the same form.
He also proclaimed that the influx of Bangladeshi migration was not total arbitrary, but a partial result of Pakistan's proxy warfare.
A planned immigration that is taking place because of our western neighbor. They will always try and ensure that this area is taken over through playing the proxy dimension of warfare. You don't have to confront a stronger nation through conventional operations. So you play a proxy game.
A general who spoke his mind. General Rawat quoted some controversies, but gave the forces a new direction.